You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a good day. Before I begin, I just wanted to answer a super chat that came at me at the last minute from Saturday's show from Heyy Mannyy. Thank you very much for the $4.99. Roberta, anything in the legal bar associations that call into question these movements as unethical actions? We have agency. That's a really good question. I would think that the Bar Association is run by lawyers and that they would be investigating any kind of unethical actions. So that would be obviously one hurdle in terms of innocence, what I'd consider innocence fraud lawyers. But yeah, it's a really good question. Thanks for asking. So before I begin, I've had a lot of questions about how Amanda Knox met Rudy. She told the media that the first time she saw Rudy Guede was in court. So I thought I'd look at some of her own words via the intercepts that the Italian police did. Now, they were taping every time she had a visit from anyone in prison. They were also, I believe, taping her phone calls. So this was from November 20th. Now, there is a video up of dated Amanda Knox prison intercept dated November 20th, and Knox is in that. But I believe that date is because she asks about Thanksgiving, and I believe that date is really the 24th, Saturday, because she asks if it's a Saturday, and Thanksgiving that year, 2007, was the 22nd. So I believe that intercept is from the 24th. If you can find anything about that intercept, that's up on YouTube listed as the 20th, but I don't think that is the correct date for that. Let me know what you discover. So this doesn't appear anywhere in that audio intercept, but it was released as a transcript on a Amanda Knox. It's called the Amanda Knox case. So anytime you call it the Amanda Knox case, not the Meredith Kercher murder, it's going to be a Amanda Knox advocacy website. So this 5 pages from an intercept that I believe is November 20th, and it's listed in that website as November 20th. This is her conversation with Knox, and the subject of Rudy Guede comes up in it. So let's see what she has to say. But before I do that, hold on one sec. Okay. So I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you to read with me. Okay, so you can see that this is like just the middle of the transcript, right? So you can see up on the top, it says page 188 to 192. Okay, so Amanda Knox starts off saying, and I wrote a letter ... to the family. So I'm not sure if these ... are, if they're interrupting each other or if it's inaudible. I assume the latter, that it's inaudible where they write ... and they're not indicating a pause, but maybe. Without the audio transcripts, it's hard to it's hard to know. So here's the transcript. So Kurt says, okay, I'll start over so you won't get lost, right? Amanda Knox, and I wrote a letter, ... to the family. Kurt Knox says, really? Amanda Knox says, I wanted to give it to you so that you could send it by email, which is much faster. Kurt Knox says, Amanda. And they, Kurt Knox. And if you don't know, Kurt Knox is Amanda Knox's father. I don't know if I made that clear, okay? I was reading something, ... There's this gentleman from the embassy. Amanda, Kurt, who sent by email all the documents which he has also given to you, and I have to talk to your mother about the phone call. Amanda, it lasts 10 minutes. So what they're talking about here is the phone call. She called her mother, and it would have been, I believe, something like 3:57 Seattle time in the morning, a.m., right before the door was, Meredith Kircher's door was knocked down. And Amanda says she doesn't remember calling, and she called 3 times. Kurt says, yes, 10 minutes. They heard it, but they need an interpreter because Amanda Knox, maybe this is a different call they're talking about, to be there, Kurt, so they can understand what you're saying, etc. Amanda Knox, that's BS. Kurt Knox, yes, let's hope that. Amanda, it's not ... Kurt, your mother says that maybe they will allow you to get out faster because they are looking for this. Amanda, yes, because this, I know him, but not well. Kurt, he comes from the Ivory Coast or something like that. So that's true. Rudy Guede does come from the Ivory Coast. Amanda, I'm not sure. I know him though. I saw him once. So remember that. She's saying, or right here, she's saying she saw him once with the neighbors. He once came with the neighbors, and also your neighbors know him? Your neighbors from below, says Kurt. Amanda, yes, the neighbors below. Kurt, Amanda, also, one evening when I went out downtown with the neighbors, we all went out together. Kurt, okay. Amanda, and we talked, and then I think I have seen him play basketball once, and I think I once saw him where I worked, but I hardly know him. So she's gone from saying she saw him once to now that they've talked, she's seen him play basketball, she's seen him where she works, she's gone out with him, but she hardly knows him. Okay. Kurt says, has he ever been to? Amanda, he's never been in my house before. Kurt, he's never been in the apartment? Kurt seems skeptical here. Amanda says, at least meaning not when I was there. So it's really interesting how she changes her story so much, right? So first she's saying, I've seen him, but I don't really know him. And it goes on. It gets very interesting. But first this. If you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. Okay, so now we're on page 2. Kurt, okay, he says, Amanda, he was in the building. This is what Amanda says. He was in the building, but I have never let him inside my house. I don't have his phone number. I don't even remember his name. I forgot it. Okay, remember that. I don't even remember his name. I forgot it. Kurt says, okay, because I have never talked to him. She just said in the previous page she had talked to him. I practically don't know him. What does that mean? How can you practically don't know somebody? Do you know them or you don't know them? Are they acquaintance? Is she saying she's just a very, very far away? Rudy's just a very, very far away acquaintance? Kurt says, uh-huh. Amanda, the lawyer, Luciano. Kurt, Luciano. Amanda, he said that the police said I called him, but I don't even know him. I mean, I don't have anything to do with it. Kurt, I know. They are taking everything they said that dot dot dot. Two things I know since last time we talked are, number one, that they are looking for this guy dot dot dot, this guy, and they know that. Amanda, why? Kurt, because there's an imprint on the pillow which was under Meredith and Amanda Knox, and it's his. Kurt, yes, and probably have linked it to him because apparently he was born in the Ivory Coast. Amanda, okay. Kurt, and he was adopted by an Italian family. Amanda, okay. Kurt, and that's why his imprint is on record, and apparently, or something like that. So, Amanda, oh my God. Kurt, yes. So, in any case, they looked for him in his apartment, but he has disappeared. So they're looking for him. Amanda, oh my God. Yes, Kurt says. So basically, this is one of the positive things, dot, dot, dot. So, Amanda, oh man, Kurt, why, dot, 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 do you know? Amanda, oh, no, it's just that if it's as if this whole thing were unreal for me, as if it was not happening to me. And hearing things like this, it's like, see, it's really interesting. Now it's unreal again. This is very similar to her false accusations of Patrick Lumumba being unreal. Her memory is unclear. It only becomes unclear. It's very clear right up till Raffaele pulls his alibi. Then her memory gets very unclear and unreal. Kurt says, don't worry, Amanda. Yes, I know, but I'm here as I were not here. I keep thinking about a time when I'm out of here. It's like my whole life is out there. Kurt, Amanda, okay. And the only thought of knowing who could have done this, and I know him in some way. I saw him, I spoke to him a little earlier. Kurt, uh-huh. Amanda, oh my God. Kurt, but apparently this is what I heard, but there is that imprint on the pillow, and there's another mark which was found in one of the bathrooms. I don't know which bathroom. Amanda, also his? Kurt, yes. So, Amanda, oh my God. Kurt, yes. So, Amanda, what an a-hole. Kurt, I don't know. I don't know who he is. Amanda, yeah, I know. I mean, I barely know him, but it's pretty overwhelming evidence. I never invited him to my house before. So that's an interesting thing. Wouldn't you think she would stop with, if she had never really invited him to her house, wouldn't she stop with, I never invited him to my house? But before, that makes it sound like she's saying to my ear before that day. But let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just too biased a listener. But usually when you say, I had never seen him before that day, or I never had done this before that day, it's usually describing, the first time you did something, right? But maybe that's not a good interpretation. I don't know. You tell me. Okay, carrying on. Kurt says, do you think Meredith? Okay, I never invited him to my house before, Amanda says. And Kurt says, do you think Meredith did so? Amanda. I know she knows him through Giacomo, so just a reminder, Giacomo was one of the 4 young men who was living downstairs. Giacomo was really Amanda really had a big crush on Giacomo. Giacomo was not interested in Amanda. He was dating Meredith at the time of her murder. So, Amanda likes to bring up Giacomo a lot. She's got Giacomo on the brain, even though she has a boyfriend at home, DJ, and she's also supposed to be dating Raffaele. Okay. Kurt, that is not that's not why I think she's guilty. Just FYI. It's just the way she rolls, or the way she rolled in 2007, at least. Kurt says, is he one of the boys who lives below, referring to Giacomo? Amanda says, yes, that was her boyfriend, meaning Meredith. So, maybe he could have said, I'm looking for Giacomo. Can I come in, or something like that? Kurt, Amanda, I don't know, Kurt. It's possible. Amanda, I know that she had seen him before, but I don't know why she let him in. So Amanda's now is opening up the possibility that that Philomena's room, the room of the stage break-in, was staged, and that perhaps Meredith let him in. Kurt, ... Amanda, he's screwed. Yeah. And if you think that those pieces of evidence are overwhelming, wait till they find out what they have on you, Amanda. Wait till you find out what they have on you, Amanda. Kurt, yes. So, and another thing the newspapers have said is that Raffaele had boxes and things as such. Amanda, yes. Kurt, well, they said it was the next day when everyone, and he used them to clean off the knife and shoes. And I spoke with Carlo yesterday. So I think they're talking about bleach, that he had boxes of bleach. Could that be it? Or some kind of cleaning supplies? Because apparently, according to the police, his apartment stunk of bleach. Amanda, he said this great piece of news was completely false. And 2 or 3 days later, Amanda, yes, it's all BS. Ha, ha, ha. Kurt, yes, like everything else. So basically, Amanda, they are looking. There is hope. Amanda says, there is no reason not to be. It's only a matter of time. Kurt, putting you under house arrest would be the minimum. Amanda, do you have any idea when it could happen? So already it's interesting. Kurt Knox seems to not have as much hope as Amanda that she's going to get out of there. And he's pretty sure she's going to be charged with it. Pretty interesting. Other people, there's always a real intensity when he talks, and a real, almost like kind of PO'd quality with Amanda Knox and his interviews around this time, leading many people to think that he thought she was guilty. But obviously that is very speculative and subjective. If you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. Okay. Kurt says, well, we'll see tomorrow, Amanda Knox says, because I really would like to spend Christmas with someone. Isn't that interesting? Someone not like the family, but it has a ... after it. So maybe that someone I know, someone who's related to me could have been in there. Who knows? Kurt says, well, tomorrow is Wednesday. Oh, tomorrow is Wednesday, Amanda. Kurt. And Carlo and Luciano. So just a recap, this transcript is from November 20th, which was a 2007, which was a Tuesday. And Carlo and Luciano, they will meet at 4:00 with one of Carlo's partners, Amanda. And I believe Carlo will come back to talk to me in the morning, Kurt. I think he may come to talk to you on Friday, Amanda. Oh, that will be better. So he will be able to tell me what's going on. Kurt, what was I saying? Luciano, Carlo, and their partner will meet together on Wednesday, tomorrow at 4:00 to create what they define will be a strategy for your defense, Amanda. Okay. I will then meet Carlo at 6:30 tomorrow night, Kurt says. Amanda says, okay. Okay. Kurt says, I have nothing to say, so, Amanda. I said, I have nothing to say, and he said, why? Do you have something to hide? Kurt, shut up, Amanda. Shut up, Kurt. I know, Amanda, honestly. Kurt, how did it go with Luciano? It went well. He asked me about the evidence and the matter of the soap. Oh, that must have been boxes and boxes of soap, maybe? He said, you bought the soap. Oh, they're talking about the witness that where she was buying cleaning supplies, he thought. He just remembers her waiting in front of his store to come in. He believes she had bought cleaning supplies, including bleach, but he couldn't be certain, and no receipt was ever presented. But her looks would have stuck out in Perugia, Italy. So she would have been memorable looking, and especially waiting for the store to open. That's something you remember, something out of the ordinary. So, okay, the knife. And I replied, no, I didn't buy the soap. So, okay, the knife, because the only thing we have to get us out of here is the knife. That doesn't have Meredith's DNA. But honestly, I don't understand how Meredith's DNA can be on there because I never took it to my house to use it. And that may be true. Raph may have taken it to her house to use it. So either it was Raffaele who took it to my house, but I don't believe this is possible either because he was at home with me. And so he said, we will wait, Kurt. Okay. Amanda, and this is the last page. And he asked me how well I knew this other boy, Kurt. Yes. Amanda, this boy called Rudy. So it sounds like if this is from the same day and not two disjointed intercepts put together, she first started this off saying she didn't even know his name, didn't remember his name. And yet it looks like there might have been a passage of time just by how oddly put together this is. But obviously her lawyers were telling Amanda about him and his name, should have refreshed her memory. But considering how much she hung out with him, according to her, I don't know. She would have forgotten his name. All right. Tell me what you think. Kurt, they all have given they still haven't given a name yet. Amanda, Oh, they're saying it on the TV. Kurt, you think I can understand Italian TV? Ha ha ha. Amanda, ha ha ha. Kurt, I couldn't even understand Luciano or Daniela. Amanda, did he have to translate for you? Kurt, yes. Amanda, oh, well, she knows Luciano. Amanda, okay. And so when were we talking with Luciano? Daniela started to say, Luciano says blah, blah, blah. Amanda, ... Kurt, what's happening? Amanda, ha ha ha, what's happening? Kurt is undecipherable. Amanda says, I understand. Kurt's undecipherable again. Ha ha ha. Amanda says, Kurt, undecipherable again. Amanda says, and you don't understand what's happening. Ha ha ha. Kurt says, I look at him, then I look at Daniela and also your mother. So I guess it sounds like Kurt's describing a conversation between Amanda's lawyers and how he doesn't understand a thing that's going on. Amanda says, ha, ha, ha. Kurt says, and can someone tell me what's happening? Amanda says, ha, ha. It seems very, I thought they would have depended a lot more on me. But when he comes home, here's to say, let's see the evidence, and me, okay, have fun. Kurt, that's such a weird attitude towards the evidence. When he comes and says, let's see the evidence, and I have to read that again. I thought they would have depended a lot more on me, but they, even Amanda's lawyers know she lies. But when he comes here, he says, let's see the evidence. And me says, okay, have fun. Meaning like, oh, I'm relaxed. I am not worried about any evidence against me because I know I'm innocent. That's sort of what you're supposed to infer, or what she hopes her dad infers from her version of her meeting with her own lawyers. Amanda, Kurt, and the question is that there are reasons for concern, and like tomorrow and Carlo. So he's concerned. So that is the end of what we have from November 20th. But like I said, there is an entire audio up on YouTube dated November 20th, but I really think that is from the 24th. Okay. So getting into it, we have got some more mail. So for those that don't know, this series was sparked off by, I don't know how to put it, a lot of name calling and Twitter from a former guest of mine named Devin Tracy. So this is Devin Tracy for those of you who don't know. He also goes by the name Atheist Rue, or just Rue. His show Atheism is Unstoppable got thrown off of Twitter, I think in 2020. And he sent me, just to refresh, that he's working on his own counter pro Amanda Knox. So he sent me that, LOL, you're so effed. And now he sent me another DM. Okay, wait, I think, go farther. Hey, tomorrow you should do another stream and say the same Gilter talking points over and over. Jesus, get outside, lady. But thank you for the content. Keep bearing yourself. Okay. Love the double down on there were no bars on the lower window thing. Oh, that's his new interpretation, that I said lower windows. Okay. You're sure about that? Might want to go double check that, LOL. It's all too late. You're a sick person. And in case, let me see, this might be a little easier to read. And in case you think I missed that little moment where you turned your camera on, I didn't. It's recorded. Chef's kiss. So that is from Devin Tracy, a message to us from Devin Tracy. I guess he has just ruined. So what he's referring to is a live stream, which was just like had so many technical issues, and I had to cut what I was doing short because it was just going on. And I really felt like I could do it better, so I took it down. And yeah, I did turn on my camera in like 101-degree weather. I don't know, it was 101. It was very humid and hot that day, and I was not dressed to go out. So I guess he has ruined my supermodel career, or will ruin it whenever his video comes out. But let's look at what he's talking about here. And this is a point, let's actually before. So this is a perfect example of taking one slice of something and debunking it. This is a really consistent innocence fraud technique. So we know Philomena's window is the bigger window on the side, right? We know Amanda said she tried to look in, look into Philomena's window from the side there. It looks like you could just, it's very awkward angle. You can't see in from there. So and this is, I think I misspoke the other day. This is 3.5 meters up, which is, I think, 11 and something feet up that window. And it had been raining the night before, and the grass, there was no sort of foot imprints of the impressions in the grass. There was no mud on the side of the wall, and there was no DNA of Rudy Guede anywhere in Philomena's room. However, in Philomena's room, there was also mixed DNA of Meredith Kircher and Amanda Knox that lit up under luminol. Blood gets very bright under luminol, extremely bright. Now, Amanda Knox supporters have said this is not the only place in the cottage where this mixed DNA of Meredith Kircher and Amanda Knox that lit up under luminol was found. It was also found in the hallway and the bathroom. So Amanda Knox supporters will say, oh, maybe, well, we know it was clean, bleach. I don't know. I've heard that them argue bleach sometimes can light up, but not blood lights it up extremely intensely. And I've heard horseradish, that there was so much horseradish in that house that it lit it up, or that Amanda Knox rubbed root vegetables over her feet. You cannot say that this is just DNA lying around because she lived there. There was no DNA of Philomena or Laura that mixed with Meredith Kircher's DNA that lit up under luminol anywhere in the cottage. So Amanda Knox is once again the most unlucky person in the world. So I wanted to show you some Amanda Knox propaganda. Now, this was a BBC, very pro Amanda Knox BBC documentary. Oh, one more thing. I don't think I finished with why this was a stage break-in. Let's just finish this before we go on to the documentary. So one of the reasons was that the room was ransacked and then the window was broken. And the reason they knew that is because the glass was on top of the window. It was all over the windowsill. Rudy Guede had no sort of cuts from glass, no blood of his found in Philomena's room. So there's no evidence of Rudy Guede anywhere in that stage break-in room, which is why of the many elements of this crime that the Supreme Court that let Amanda Knox go confirmed that this was a crime done by more than one person. Amanda Knox washed Meredith Kircher's blood off her hands and feet. And 3, the break-in was staged. So that kind of eliminates that. But if you have, it kind of eliminates that in more reasonable people, right? But if you have a documentary, you can make any argument, hire any experts. So they're going to have their own glass. They had their own glass experts. And so they brought in a climbing expert to show how easy it is to climb right into Philomena's window. And just note, they didn't bring in a normal guy from the street about Rudy Guede's height and size. They brought a climbing expert, guy who scales things for a living. So let's take a look at it, shall we?
And there's another issue with this window. It's 3.5 meters above the ground. Even if it was broken from the outside.
So I was talking about the top bars because you'll see how much he uses them to hoist himself up. Remember that this sill is going to be covered with glass. If this was a regular break-in, that sill would have glass on it, right? And Philomena says her shutters were closed. So here they have the shutters open for this demonstration, of course, which looks like it's really interesting. It's hard to tell, but it looks like it would cover that cell. How would you break the window in the first place? And you would hope that those bars would be open. Like, you can't just put it in, at least in America, you can't put in permanent bars without it being a fire hazard. I would think Italy would be the same. So he would have to have broken the window with the shutters closed, or gone up, opened the shutters, then broken the window. I don't know. I don't know what they're even suggesting, but they just have the shutters open like it's a normal thing. All right.
Could a single person climb up to it to enter the flat? To find out, our lawyers have recruited Peruvian climbing enthusiast Ricardo Pinella.
Okay, Ricardo. If you could do us a favor and test this out.
This is the actual window.
Okay, so he's a climbing enthusiast. This is a guy who scales things for fun. Okay, not for a living, maybe. I don't know. I've never looked him up. But why not get just like Joe Schmo from the street? Why are they getting an expert climber to do this?
Smashed the night Kircher was killed. Bars have been fitted since, possibly to prevent a break-in.
Well, you make that seem so easy.
Yes, it's really easy.
You are an experienced rock climber.
Yes,
Do you feel...
All right, let's watch that again. You're an experienced, see, even the guy watches like, you're an experienced rock climber. Look how much. So once you're up here, if there's no bars, what are you going to do without putting your hand right on the sill covered in glass? Are you coming up with this giant, are you supposed to be running, like climbing up with a giant rock in your hand? I don't think, it's a huge, huge rock that was found there.
Bars have been
right,
fitted
that's
since,
going to be all glass.
possibly to prevent.
And now he's using the bars to pull himself up.
Well, you make that seem so easy.
Yes, it's really...
How do you pull yourself up without the bars? What are you going to use? Are you going to use the shutters? That's a possibility. I don't know. I just don't think that this is. My point is that this is not in any way a fair demonstration, and it's a totally recreated crime scene here. Once so much of it is those top bars. So maybe you could push yourself up on the sill, but how do you hold? I mean, how are you? I don't know. Maybe it can be done. Maybe it can be done, but can it be done without cutting yourself? I don't know. No one's ever suggested Rudy Guede wore any kind of gloves. Certainly not with all the evidence he left behind. So I just thought that was interesting. Wanted to show you. And one last thing. Oh, thanks so much. 7 days. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Is it true that Amanda and Raph told the first police returning Meredith's cell phone that they had called the police, but they actually hadn't? So I believe that first police was actually returning Philomena's cell phone, but I think Meredith's was found shortly after it. But I believe it was Philomena's, from what the murder of Meredith Kircher.net says about the timeline, that it was Philomena's phone that was found and traced back. That's why the plainclothes policemen were there. It doesn't matter. It's not important. That they had called the police, but they hadn't. I believe that is what the plainclothes police said. But of course, everybody lies. Let me check on that. My memory says yes, but memories can be fallible. That's enough for me. Thanks, Roberta. Yeah, they hadn't called the police yet. And when those plainclothes policemen came, there was Amanda Knox with a mop. So what's that about? So last thing for today, I think I'm going to keep it relatively short unless other people have questions or comments. But before I do, if you are enjoying this episode of my True Crime Report, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this episode. Get access to exclusive podcasts and other bonus content by becoming a patron today. If you have a question or comment for me, shoot me a super chat and I'll do my best to answer it and read it on air. Thanks so much. Now back to the show. Okay, so that gave me a little break. So this was from the Irish Independent, and people have been asking me about Amanda Knox and my assertion that she was going through a lot of money every week, and that eventually her cell phone number was found on a Italian drug dealer's cell phone, specifically having to do with coke. So let us read it together. Italian prosecutors pushing for Amanda Knox's extradition from the U.S. claim that they have evidence of her extensive links to cocaine dealers in Perugia, it has been reported. Police in the Italian city where the British student Meredith Kircher was murdered have reportedly already convicted one man for dealing cocaine based on information from the American's phone. They say the details from Knox's files show she had phone conversations with a known drug dealer before and after Ms. Kircher's death, and was going through cash at it was going through, I think they mean going, but it says getting through cash or going through cash at an alarming rate, and had an alleged relationship, quote, relationship of a sexual nature with the supplier. Lawyers now plan to use these alleged drug links against Knox as they prepare to try to force her back to Italy on an extradition warrant to face justice, the Mirror reported. Even as she and former boyfriend Raffaele Solecito, or Solicito, depending on which day it is for me, await an appeal over their conviction for the murder at Italy's Supreme Court of Castaneda. Knox has said she will never return from Seattle for what currently stands as a 28-year jail sentence. The police report attached to Knox's file reportedly stated that, quote, in the course of the investigation regarding the criminal proceedings 9066/07 Kircher's murder, they discovered that an Italian person from time to time replenished Amanda Knox's narcotic substances, as well as having allegedly had with her the relationship of a sexual nature, unquote. Amanda Knox and Meredith Kircher. The fresh reports of drug links came as Solecito told reporters in Rome that the evidence showed Knox was not with him at his home at the time of the killing of Ms. Kircher, 21, as her alibi claims. Miss Kircher from London was killed on the 1st of November 2007 in the flat she shared with Knox. The American, Solecito, and Rudy Guede have been convicted of the murder, but only the latter is currently serving time in prison. Knox and Solecito have been convicted, had their convictions overturned, and then reinstated by Italian courts in January this year. They are preparing for one final appeal to overturn the convictions once more. Solecito denied he was changing his story. Quote, only a madman or a criminal would change versions, and I'm neither mad nor criminal, unquote, he said. Quote, there's proof that I was at my place and I was watching Japanese, I think it's like cartoons, unquote. Yeah, he was like, what was he when he did this around 20? I think he's like 24, 25. I think I wrote it down, so I thought it was 24. Asked where Knox may have been in those missing hours, Solecito said he was concentrating only on defending himself and he could not vouch for her whereabouts. And that went all the way up to the Supreme Court. He was still saying Solecito was still saying Amanda wasn't with him that night. And Amanda and all her supporters were saying, oh, they were together. So funny. Despite casting doubt on Knox's testimony, Solecito said he was convinced of Knox's innocence. Quote, I've always believed and still believe that Amanda Marie Knox is innocent, unquote, he said. He wanted only to ensure that evidence against Knox was not unfairly used against him. So that is, I believe, what I have for today. Does anyone have any comments or questions? What do you think about watching those Japanese cartoons, right? So odd. I don't know. I always find it odd when an adult watches cartoons, but I know lots do. So I'm sure it's not all that odd. But aren't they known for their violence? Am I crazy? It's not my area of expertise, certainly. Let me know what you think of the bars on the top windows. And I think I'll see you back next time. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Good afternoon. See you next time.